Happy New Year, everyone. How is everyone going? Yes, a late review show, as you know. Well, I know everyone was been busy yesterday, but we got to do it. But like I said, people, Happy New Year to everyone. But we have to talk about it. Nottingham Forest 2, Manchester United 1. I can't believe I'm saying that. People in the comments, how are you feeling about that Nottingham Forest's fantastic win at the City Ground against... Let's go a big team, but we beat them 2-1. I can't believe I'm saying that. If you are happy about the 2-1, please do hit the like button if you can. Right, let's get the panel in. First of all, the man himself. Let's start with this guy, Rads. Rads, how you feeling?
Fantastic, really. Yeah, but about Forest, he can't be any better. So yeah, it's I don't think we could have quite envisioned it being as good as it has been in these first 3 games. So yeah, suddenly we can feel optimistic.
Optimistic. If no one's seen it, make sure everyone go and see Brad's vlog, Forest vlog as well, from the game as well, straight after the stream. Next up, we've got the man, the Welshman, Steve. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, I'm good, lads. Happy New Year to you all and people watching. And yeah, like echo what Rad said, footballing wise, can't get much better. And I can't wait to gloat over this win.
I'm still gloating.
I've been waiting for this even before Raz was even born, I think.
Well, Raz is older than everyone else here. I'm still 21. But...
Yeah, I'm the oldest.
Raz is the oldest. And next but not least, we've got the man himself, Glenn. How you feeling, Glenn?
Yeah, still buzzing. It's been quite a few days, hasn't it? Since, was it now 10, 11 days, 12 days since the change, and significant changes in fortune, significant changes in results, and yeah, really looking forward to going through this one. The last time I was on, we looked at the Newcastle United game, and yeah, very much looking forward to seeing how the team did, where we broke them down, and definitely we're going forward into 2024. It's going to be a good hour. Please like and subscribe.
Please do as well. Like I said, people, we'll talk about the game. We're going to talk about the highs and lows from 2023 as well. So, like I said, our show as well. So, please, like I said, any comments that you want to talk about the game against Man Utd, I'm going forward. Please do. Before we do talk about the game, let's go through the comments as well. First of all, Davey, he's absolutely legend. Ben, you need to update your bio for 2024 and 15k subs. Happy New Year, everyone. I think I do, Davey. So if you are, please new to the channel. Please do hit the subscribe button. Make sure everyone's going to subscribe to Rads as well. Get into 6k Rads you need to get to.
Yes.
Please go and subscribe.
Please do that.
Please, everyone subscribe to Rads as well. Like I said, he's been championship days as well. So people go and subscribe.
I subscribed not too long ago.
Good. So that's me. If Steve can do it, because I think what it is because he's got the Welsh internet connection.
Yeah,
so he's seen this.
Yeah. I'm still on Morse code.
We've got another legend on the show. Rad's dad, Happy New Year, guys! What a win! What atmosphere coming your Reds. That's the number one Rad's dads. Colin Jackson, Happy New Year as well. People, if you do want to be a member to the channel, make my 2024 happy. Be a member to the channel as well. Paddy Harris, what a win! Happy New Year! All coming you Reds. Happy New Year to you as well, Paddy Harris. Kev, evening, you Reds. How you doing, Kev? All the way from New Jersey. Happy New Year from New Jersey. New boy Alex Ray. Tyrone, we will have a hard time getting in the team up in his return. That is something we can talk about as well throughout our show as well. Another legend to sure. Mohammed, Happy New Year, Dore. What a year. Nottingham Forest against Manchester United. We'll win the FA Cup. We get top four this season. We'll keep winning games. Then we'll get there up the Reds. That will be amazing, wouldn't it? Top 4, Mohammed. That would be crazy. Forest fans, what do you think? I'm not giving my high hopes. It's a bit early days after a fantastic win, but I'm not very good though. I think. Kieran. As well, hi Dore, you're live. I know why is it turned up so you can watch your favourite team. No, I do not want to watch them. You mad? As well, Katie, nice to meet you both on Saturday. What result? Jackson, yes, Katie, nice to meet you as well. Jackson was on mine and the Raz vlog as well. So shout out to Katie as well and her mum as well. Another legend, Eve, Happy New Year, Mr. Dole, Raz, Glenn, Steve. Hope you're well. I'm just starting to do drawings, one on the night and one on Dave Phillips. Yeah, Eve, if you can't do Dave Phillips, do the drawing and I'll send it to David himself. So yeah, do a good drawing, David. He'll love that as well. As well, Paul, Happy New Year, everyone. Yes, Happy New Year to everyone. And like I said, hopefully 2024 could be a happy day for all Forest fans. Right, let's start. We're going to talk about this fantastic win against Manchester United. And it's not like we didn't see it coming because I don't want to rub it in, but did I get my prediction right, Rads? No. I said on Rad's channel, I said 2-2, didn't I?
So yeah.
But on my channel, I said 2-1 because I'm sticking to my prediction, not my prediction, not Rad's, mine.
That's all that matters.
That's all it matters. I got my prediction right. That's all it matters. Right, Rad, let's start with you, Rad. Just what a win. What a win, wasn't it?
Yeah. For me, it's probably the best game we've had in, well, a very long while, since that Arsenal game last season, I'd say. Well, I mean, in the Premier League, it was probably the game before against Newcastle. I've said, I think quite a few have said, the last two games are probably the most refined and at home we've looked in the Premier League. And, you know, it's not like we've just won with a lot of luck and it's been a bit scrappy. I mean, you'll take that, but you want to see us win, you know, with a show, really, to be entertained. And the last two games, no doubt, we have been the better side against two of the best, you know, two of the biggest teams in the league, especially Man United. So, I mean, we're bigger than Man United, of course, but yeah, unbelievable.
I just heard what you just said.
Yeah. But I agree with what you just said. That I had a good feeling about it going into it after that Newcastle game. I thought, you know, there was just something about how we played in that match. It was just so good. Man United, you know, you never know what you're going to get from them. Why can't we cause an upset? And, you know, from minute one, I just felt it had that feeling that, you know, it was going to be one of those games where we would be, you know, we would pull off a result like that. But like I say, it was the first time we've done that. And I felt like we did everything right in every single area, like better than them. And it wasn't just like a freak result or a lucky result. And especially to be pegged back like we were, you know, Matt Turner's made mistakes. We'll talk about that, I'm sure. But it's like, yeah, he redeemed himself afterwards. Fair play to him for that. But I think, honestly, a few weeks ago, if we'd let that goal in, we probably would have lost. But we'd actually used it as fuel to continue and push on and go and get the win. You know, it made us play even better. And I think that's the difference with this Forest team right now. And we're only 3 games into the Nuno era, and it's really, really encouraging. So,
Steve, like when you saw the lineup before the game, what was you feeling?
Yeah, again, it's these little tactical tweaks that Nuno's doing. I had a feeling you'd go with Yates and Dominguez only because of the high press they play and in your face football. Yeah, you know, with United, like I said, you know, in the show last week, you know, with United, we have to get in their faces, especially the likes of Fernandez and Garnacho, get in their faces, wind them up, you know, bring that side of, I know, I said as well, if we couldn't beat this United side, we'd never beat United. You know, they were there for the taking. The Villa game, people are going on about the second half. But that's United. Like, Ten Hag has got this thing of getting himself out of a hole, and he gets a result from somewhere. You know, but I had a feeling deep down, Ben, we were going to, you know, like Raj just said, even when we conceded, I always felt we could push on. Never felt like they could go on, kick on. They just, when they equalised, they didn't go up another gear. They just stayed the same. But we went up another gear, and that's really good to see. And it's like the starting lineup, coming back to that, is, yeah, I think he got a spot on again. And maybe Hudson-Odoi was a bit unlucky losing his spot, but he went with Dominguez because of that high press from the front in your face. How many times did he just get stuck in from the front? Didn't allow people like Johnny Evans and Varane to get on the ball and dictate play. And United their midfield was so poor. You know, even Ericsson didn't get on the ball much. They just showed the high press, and we didn't allow him out. Onana was playing like a sweeper at one point, but he was just passing it side to side. You know, he wasn't pinging it anywhere because we didn't allow him out. So yeah, again, I'm sure we'll go to individual players later, but again, the starting lineup, you can't argue, Ben, can you, with what we went with.
Glenn, like I said, Nuno, 3 games in. Like I said, Bournemouth game was very unlucky. we beat Newcastle, and yes, we can say Man U were poor. They've not been great, but it's still amazing to you. Like I said, you've been there, you've seen the games, Glenn, beating Man U, but this tops it off. Like the game against Liverpool last season, that was amazing. But just to beat this team, it's something like it's the next level, isn't it, to how we beat Liverpool?
It certainly is, and I think Dave summed it up on both of your vlogs and your short one about the team that we faced against both of those clubs. I think the players that both managers put out, and I'm not going into excuses or reasons why, and Ten Hag's trying that to save himself from getting the sack, no doubt, talking about why those teams have been put out and why he's got so many 11 or so injuries. But we've played two on paper significantly better teams than us. They just didn't have what we had, and we're now showing passion, we're showing determination, we're showing resilience, we're showing belief, we're showing already after 12 days a buy-in to a plan that they've put together as a way of coming against these sorts of teams. And let's play it wide, let's play with pace, let's play round them, let's play across, and it's very straightforward stuff. I think Morgan summed it up at the start. You probably didn't see this unless you watched it. He was in the huddle. Have you seen this? And he was talking about the Man United players. They don't want to be here, boys. Look at them. They don't want to be here. And then the tackles he went in, they'd got a yellow card from. Just that right. Oh, come on.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And that's exactly what you want from a player who's on the verge of that captaincy group. And all the way through the team, they've just got this buy-in from as the management group and the coaching group were saying already after 12 days, we're not really doing that much. It's the fans and it's the players, but it's obviously got a lot to do with the way that they do their research and that they're looking at their the way that we can play against these teams. And all it takes is both teams, if you like, have got both oppositions we've played, Bournemouth with the exception, have both got beatable teams on paper. And we just happened to put a team against them that really rattled them. And that made I wouldn't talk about this too much, made the Newcastle crowd go quiet. It made the Man U fans go quiet. And it really put the rocket amongst those Man U players that they couldn't bounce back from. And that was the one thing that I got from that. They, like you were saying, Steve, they didn't really have that next gear to go into. And we've played against these teams before that have been playing, sitting back, have been playing with 80% possession. They had 55, we had 45. And had that next gear, and they didn't seem to have that as a Man U team, nor did Newcastle. And we just rode on top of them. It was just phenomenal stuff. Absolutely. I'm not going to lie. I was still sat like this.
Yes. I wasn't. No, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't. I was all right.
I was really worried. Not because of Turner, and that's something else we'll talk about. Yeah. But the team is after 3 matches, and you're right, Ben. It was unlucky about Bournemouth, but after 3 matches. We've got 6 from 9. Who knows? We could have got 7 or 9 out of 9, and that, we almost don't want this break to happen right now. And Blackpool going to have I think they're going to have a real tough game. I was at Blackpool last year. I think it's going to be a different situation. So delighted so far the way they've come in, what they've done, those little fine tweaks, and bring on Brentford. Can't wait.
Glenn, I've just mentioned about Nuno, and this is from Dave. Do you think this is temporary new manager bounce or something permanent? You answer that one, Glenn. And people in the comments as well.
I think the stats are very clear. There isn't really anything to show from a new manager bounce. It's often a little bit of a not really actual a thing. But on this situation, all it takes, and how can I make this really straightforward? Players often, if they've got a little bit of lack of confidence, and confidence is huge within a club, right? They've got a little bit of lack of confidence and they've got the same voice saying the same things. Sometimes just a little bit of a change of person speaking, someone saying a different thing, a different voice saying it is all it takes. And I'm not suggesting that Nuno is any more astute, although I think his substitution's a bit on point. I think who they brought on and when is absolutely spot on. But in terms of who says what they should do on the field and how they should set themselves up, all it takes is a little change of a voice occasionally, And I don't think there's much more to it than that. I certainly don't think Nuno's come in with his staff and a magic wand. I think there's a little bit of a change of focus, and the players have spoke about this quite openly about getting that identity and that character. But for now, I think it's a team that's really together, and they've always been together, playing against two oppositions that are not anywhere near as good as they should be. I'm not saying it's a coincidence at all. I'm not suggesting that Steve Cooper would have got these results at all. But I think it might just be a little bit of a different way of setting up and a different person setting them up. I think that might well be these marginal gains. And Man U fans and players will talk about now Sir Dave Brailsford's involved. These marginal games will be a big thing in their future too. I'm just glad we've played them twice this season now.
Yeah, 100%. People, please do hit the like button if you can. It helps me a lot. And if you're doing the super chats as well, start with 2024, please do. I'm going to go through the comments as well. This is what this is different. This is for Steve. Steve, where's your accent from? Especially you're a Welshman. I'm not a Welsh, but I live in Cardiff for 30 years. I'm the only four supporters in my local. Steve, answer that one.
I'm from Nice, which is near Swansea. He probably knows where. He might have heard of Nice. It's about 8 miles. It's about 40 miles from Cardiff. So I'm more West Wales. Not far from Swansea. So yeah, that's where the accent's from.
Yeah. So yeah, people here from Welsh.
I am the biggest Forest fan around here. You won't get much bigger Forest fan.
I remember what video was it? When you sang the Moyo Kitaya. In
the middle of the Swansea shopping centre, yeah.
I will, you know what? I will put that one time. That was funny. Right, let's talk about individual players because there's a lot to talk about. And we've got to start with Turner and go on, Rads. Talk to me about Rads, man. Like Turner. What's your view on them? And people in the chat as well. What's your view on Turner? Would you play him against Blackpool or Brentford in league game? Rads, what do you think?
No, I wouldn't play him against Blackpool. I think in a cup game, you should probably rotate a bit, unless you're playing against a really huge side. But we should be able to rotate. No offense to Blackpool with not too much fear, and we can't underestimate that like we did last year. But rotation I think is important. And who knows, Vlachodimos might suddenly be really good as well. But the whole goalkeeper situation is really it's been something that's really let us down, in my opinion. You can talk about recruitment and that, and I think a lot of it has been questionable at times. There's been some amazing recruitment as well, so it's been a bit inconsistent. But I think a lot of people have said this since we lost Brice Samba. It's not really been at all stable. We've had two loanees who are both great, and it's a shame that we didn't bring either of them back in the end. And now we've got two keepers that I think when they came in we were fairly happy with, but it just hasn't worked for them. And Vlachodimos hasn't played quite as much as Turner, and it is strange with Turner. The way I describe him is he'll pull off something amazing, a really good save, and then he'll make just the most basic thing. The most basic error, because just before he gave that goal away, passing it straight to Garnacho, I think it was. I remember he got the ball and he tried to do a clearance. He just sliced it and the ball went up in the air. There's several times where he just kicked it straight out of play, and I just find him really nerve-wracking to watch. And I think I don't remember what game it was really, but I think since Vlachodimos came in and he struggled as well, is when everyone's been saying we need to get a new goalkeeper in, which is quite dramatic, saying we've already signed two, but I think it's probably needed the way it's going. Unless either of them can really step up and play consistently well, I don't really see, at the very least, either of them being long-term for us, one of them being number one. So, I'm not going to slate Turner for the sake of it.
He made a good save, though. To be fair, and he made a good save. I think it was from Fernandez.
He backed it up after that mistake.
Two good saves. And he's a goalkeeper. And like I said, he was a bad mistake for the first couple. Yeah. Steve, would you play him against Brentford? Because I don't think he'll play against Blackpool, but would you play against Brentford?
I think with Turner, at the end of the day, in the modern day goalkeeper, you've got to use your feet. That's the way football is now. Back 20, 30 years ago, keepers were just there to stop the ball going in the net. They didn't play out from the back. They weren't pinging the ball. They weren't trapping it and playing out from the back. They were just hoofing it up the field. That's the way the old school keepers were. So, for shot stopping, you can't knock the guy. He made 2 good saves. He's made a couple of good saves from since he joined the club. It's just, like I said, the way the modern game is, you've got to be good with your feet. And every time he gets the ball, he's nerve-wracking. Like our old player, Alan Rodgers, put a tweet out during the game saying how nervous he was watching it as well. And it is, every time he's got the ball on his feet, you could see it coming. That's the only thing in that game that you could see happening. And it was almost United. That's the only thing United were clinging on to, was they were hoping for a mistake from the back. And I'm noticing recently that Turner is palming the ball off to Murillo a lot to try and play it from the back, because Turner, he just can't use his feet, and some keepers just can't. Like, I didn't think Henderson was that great off the floor, with his feet.
I don't think he was either.
I think the best player we've had off the feet is Samba, but then you flip that. Samba did his fair share of mistakes. He did a few mistakes himself. He's probably our best keeper in the last 5 years, no doubt, or even decade. But every keeper's got that weakness, and either they're not the best shot stopper, or they're good with their feet, or the other way around. If we had the best keeper both ways, we would have the best keeper in the world. Like, for me, the best keeper is probably Edison in for Man City, but he's both in both regards. They are rare to get that combination now. And with Turner, is he being told to play out from the back with his feet, or is just reacting? Like, for me, he has to play what's in front of him. Now, when that ball was played square to him, he has to put his foot through that. Why he was playing through the middle, that ball, that was never on. We could see it. We could all see it. Just put your foot through it.
He was told. I think I'm reading between the lines of what the manager said in the post match, and saying it was our problem. We gave him that option. Now, if you go in and see, right, I've got these 2 keepers. I was a keeper myself. You say as the manager, right, and you say, okay, I've got this one who's conceded 5 at Fulham, and I've got this one who played well at Newcastle. And you could hear on the commentary that the management group was saying home a lot, which is back to him, reset, and move through. And you're absolutely right. They were playing to Murillo. At that sort of situation, when he's playing a 10-yard pass diagonally forward, there's no threat. But when you've got a situation where you've got a 3v2, 3 to our advantage outfield, if he pings that ball out to Danilo a little bit quicker, Danilo gets it, no goal, right? He turns and we play forward. The ball that, you're right, he should have punted away, no goal. But equally, at that time, I think he saw in front of him, didn't see Garnacho out of his right-hand side, and passed the ball to Danilo. Wasn't quick enough, wasn't off, and Danilo didn't get the ball. Garnacho got the ball ahead of him, and then there was a goal. And you actually see Danilo going to him and almost apologising for not being a little bit more advanced. And I think it was between them. And I'm not suggesting that Turner's, not 100% capable for that. On my, as a coach side, I can see Turner and the issues they've got as they're resolving some of them with, let's put people in positions and play it out. All he needed there was a pass off to his left-hand side, and the ball is then taken out by someone else. But you're right, he should have punted it away. All of these issues,
even if he goes in road head,
all of these issues are coachable. It's not like we've got someone who's 5'4" and can't reach over the top of the bar. They're coachable issues, but he's a Premier League international standard keeper who shouldn't be having these sorts of things. Now, I'm thinking it's a combination of a couple of things. A combination of someone who hasn't been able to or necessarily seen, you're right, kicking out by his feet as something that needs to be a development in his game. What I have seen, though, is at half-time, you might have seen this, Door, he's out 10 minutes before.
Yes, even earlier than that.
Punting balls into the technical area, playing over that far side on the right-hand side, and he puts 3 or 4 consistently there. They put thumbs up, and then the game starts, and he goes to pieces almost. He almost leaves. I don't know if you've ever seen the documentary about Sunderland. There's a lad in there that has a minor mental health breakdown, and needs someone to talk to. And as a former mate of mine, not a former mate, former colleague of mine called Steve Salis, he goes into clubs and has these conversations with players. It's almost like he needs someone to have a little bit of conversation with about what you do when you're in this situation, because he's almost in this panic station and then can't fulfill the skill consistently that should be just natural, right? So he almost needs someone to talk to. I'm not suggesting that's the solution, but a full gaps opportunity where he's got someone who can play to his left, someone in front of him, or like you said, if in doubt, just kick it as far away as possible. But getting him thinking about that decision-making process, for me, I think he needs to go through. It seems like he's got 3 or 4 options and he's trying to do the best one for the situation, when kicking it as far away from the goal might just be the best option, even if it goes out on the halfway line for a throw-in. So having a little bit of a management of a situation while he's still developing that skill, and I said it's coachable, the problems are resolved by coaching, and that's something that they'll do. But you're right, I don't think the club are necessarily going to give him that time, and it might well be a situation in the next couple of weeks that he doesn't develop quick enough and those errors still continue, and it may well be that he'll not be number one anymore. I don't think he should play against Brentford. I don't think he'll play against Blackpool. I think Oddy will play against Blackpool. And if Oddy plays well, he'll keep the shirt and may well play against Brentford. Who knows? That gives him then 3 weeks to have a little bit of a resolve and a little bit more coaching and work with them. I believe that the previous coaching goalkeeping coach has gone. So I'm not sure who's going to be looking after them in goalkeeping, but it needs to be someone, even if it's Nuno. And it just doing the basics a little bit more straightforward and not having this moment when he's put in front of the ball, not quite sure what to do, and he's got 3 options. He should just play the obvious one. That's as simple and straightforward as I could make it, I imagine. But it needs to be sorted out, or else he'll put himself in a position where he's not going to be even a Forest player in the Premier League anymore, which is obviously not something we want for someone that we want to develop as a player for the future of our club. And that's obviously, we want this for everybody, don't we? We want to see everybody developing. And if that's the only significant thing that he needs to work on, that's the main focus for him in coaching. And if it's a information processing thing in terms of sports psychology, then there are people to help him with that. If it's simply a coaching thing, I think it's pretty straightforward if that's the one thing he needs to work on. For me, I think it's an easily resolvable issue if it's focused on. He may not have the time to fix it though.
That is a fantastic point from Glenn. I've never enjoyed Glenn talk so much. I know we never always have Des and David, but that was a fantastic point about like, if you didn't enjoy that, please do it. If you did enjoy that, please hit the like button for what Glenn just said. There's so much more as well what Glenn said about. We need this from Peaches. Thank you for Peach for the long message. Need to have lights under Nuno to fulfill this. His Champions League goalkeeper would like revelation of World Cup winner playing under Nuno. There is potential there for both, but we've seen one come up. That's Blatch. I've done a poll, people. There's 31 votes in. There's 100 people in, nearly 100, saying 52 says Turner, 48 says Blatch. So who did you vote for? And there's other one as well. Where's the other one? For the stated Glenn, my competence, yes. Next one. I think David says, great point from Glenn. Bloody hell. Right. I can talk about individual players, but since Nuno's come in, we can talk about players that wasn't playing under Steve Cooper, like players like Montiel, Dominguez, Ryan Yates, who I love, has been given an oomph. And I said before the game, Ryan Yates needs to wind up Fernandez or one or two. But people in the chat, what player was you impressed with? I know everyone played fantastic, but what one player that really impressed you against Manchester United? Let me start with you, Raz. What player, like, I thought, okay, he's playing for Forest now, especially what Nuno said?
Well, I mean, there's lots of players I could pick, as you say. I think everyone was amazing against Man United. I think we're always going to expect it, to be honest. There's always going to be some players come in that weren't really playing much towards the end of when Cooper was here. So like Montiel's just come out of the dark and he's now suddenly short right back right now, which is incredible, saying how well Nico was playing. And I do feel a bit bad for Nico for that reason. All that Aina coming into the team again. Dominguez is now back. Yatesy, all that. I mean, if I'm going to narrow it down to one, it's tough. I'd probably say Gibbs White in terms of how he's improved, because he was, for his standards, he was struggling. Like, he wasn't at all bad, but he weren't reaching the heights that we know he can reach. And I think ever since Nuno's come in, he's just been so much better. Like, playing down the middle where he should be played, really. That's his best position. Been playing with freedom. We mentioned earlier that thing that he did in his team talk. He's starting to show that captaincy now, and I think a lot question that. And for me, it would still be Ryan Yates as captain if he's on the pitch. But Morgan proved that he's got that leadership to him as well. So I think it massively helps the fact that obviously he's worked with Nuno before. So Morgan's a big one, no doubt. Obviously Montiel, I think
Montiel's brilliant, hasn't he?
It was a really odd situation with him, really, because this World Cup winner came in and he was either hot or cold. He was either like awful or really good. Maybe not really good, but he wasn't bad, and it was kind of unfortunate he wasn't playing more. But then, like, you know, Uriel was playing, and Aina and Nico, for example, and I think it's good that we finally see Montiel get a go, and he's fair play to him. He's come in and he's put in 2 excellent performances, and suddenly I think everyone's saying, "Oh, let's send all the loans back." To saying,
would you keep him? Yes or no? People in the chat, would you keep Montiel for the now to end the season? We can buy him. I think we can. But Rad, would you keep him? In the chat, would you keep Montiel? Yes or no?
I'd certainly wouldn't send him back. Without a doubt, keep him. I mean, if he can continuously keep playing like this, if he's suddenly going to be one of our main fullbacks, then, I mean, if he keeps playing like this, then yes, let's sign him up. And it's good that we've got that clause in there. And we have had that with other players, like Lodi had that clause and he didn't end up signing. So who knows how, secure that's going to be. But fair play to Montiel and all those lads. Yates has come back in and he's just he's shown what he's all about again. And managers continuously pick Ryan Yates, whether back in the Championship or now in the Prem.
And he's a Championship, and we get told, I get told he's a Championship player, bloody, he's not a Premier League player.
Yeah,
that's what you get from Ryan Yates. He does his job, and but I get criticised for that. But sorry, Rad, it winds me up.
No, I totally agree. I mean, people have had a go at me in the past of being like too praising Yates or defending him too much, but it's because I know what he can offer to the team. It's that leadership, and he's not, maybe he's not the most glamorous player on the pitch, but he does the job, and that's the most important thing. And he's shown that the last couple of games. Why I still think he's a massive part of this team, as well as all these lads now getting chances. So we've got to continue to see it, really.
Well, let's talk about the goals. Let's start with Dominguez, because this is for you, Steve. When he was under Steve Cooper, he was in and out of the team and he wasn't getting much games, but he played that. I think did he play left wing? He kept going in and out the team in that midfield role. But Dominguez and Montiel as well, the Argentina connection. It was a good goal, wasn't it? Very good goal, team goal.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, he didn't play out on that wing, did he? We didn't really play with the left side winger. He always he was tucking in, and Aina was making some runs on the left. But it was weird because we obviously didn't see United's right side as a threat. Well, we did, but you know what I mean. It wasn't like we have to play with it out on that wing. Like, that's why Hudson-Odoi was dropped. So going back to what I said in the beginning about picking Dominguez, it's almost he was tucking in, trying to press from the front. United had a bit of joy in the first half down there, right? Garnacho had nothing in the first half. In the first half, Van Bissaka and Anthony, they didn't do much, but they had more of the ball that side. by the way, Anthony, shocking player. How they, well, like they're all saying, like their fans in tears, like they sold the wrong Anthony. You know, come back to Dominguez on that goal. If I remember the build up now, it was a decent build up, a bit of passing going on from the back.
It was
Then played
Yates.
through midfield.
It was Yates,
Yeah,
then Martial, and then Dominguez. Yeah.
Well, Montiel made the overlap, didn't he? He's the one who squared it to Dominguez because he went over to thank him for the assist. But again, how much space with Gibbs White? But how much space did Dominguez have? Like, if that was the other end of the pitch, we'd be in uproar. If, say, that was their goal, that was shocking. But it benefited us. But I couldn't believe how much space he had, and he was almost like in slow. Glenn, did you watch it on TV? Or was he there live?
Sadly, I wasn't there, but they were all marking Wood. They weren't marking the gap in front of the 6-yard box. They were all looking at Wood, which I thought was fantastic. And a lot of the hidden work that Wood does, actually, it just brings these players in, gives everybody else a bit more space.
But that was the edge of the box to have that much space against United. That's for them that's criminal. But for us, and he was almost like in slow motion. You could play the Titanic song, as it's going in, as he just, he's just like side-footed in, didn't he? It was just so easy, and Onana didn't even move. I'm sure we'll get to the second goal later on now, but yeah. But Ben, we carved them open so easy. Like I said, he just seen it come in. It was just weird. He was just like, how easy was that? Like, we didn't have to break stride. It was so easy how Montiel just made the overlap, and he's just like, squared it to now, 6 yards away from me, and bang. It was just, but we had to do it, and we did it, thankfully, and United were shocking.
Yeah. Glenn, Gibbs White, like I said, he got his first goal for the club. And again, we talk about so much space in that way he's got. There's no, like, everyone's focused on Wood, but Gibbs White, he deserved it. The work, like I said, since Nuno's come in, he's worked so hard, and even under Steve Cooper, he has been playing. He's been playing right wing there, but he's in his role, and he's got his goal right in front of the Trent end. But talk to me, Glenn. People in the comment as well. How do you feel about Gibbs White, man, scoring his first goal this season?
What a finish it was as well. He's talked at length, and I think this is the one thing that makes that goal a really special goal. He's talked a lot about how much he's relaxing into taking those shots now. 6 months ago, he would panic and rush, and it would go over the bar, and you'd probably catch it in the upper tier of the Trent end door. I
won't catch the ball. You won't catch it.
Head it back down. He's a completely different. He seems to be over the last sort of couple of weeks. Maybe it's fatherhood. Maybe it's seeing a little bit of a break coming up because let's not forget he's worked all the way through the summer. He didn't really get a break after the under-21 Euros, and he looks really tired. You can see the last 10 minutes of the game just how tired he is. So obviously having that break coming up. But the way he took that goal, you're absolutely right. He had a lot of space and a lot of time to pick out that spot. And Onana obviously had a little bit more to do and obviously dive. The first one, Steve, you're absolutely right. It looked like he was standing on the sideline with his dog watching the match, didn't he? Onana had nothing, didn't really dive at all, just stood there. But the second one, he had a lot more to do to bend it around and picked his spot and the timing of the shot. And yeah, really, really special. I'm working a lot with the boys and girls that I work on in terms of shooting, and I think the way that the way that anybody shoots is having that composure, which he had, picking his spot and sticking with it, which he did. Just picking that, just not trying to rip the top off the ball and just placing it in. And he did. It was absolutely spot on in terms of the way he timed that. That comes from McTominay and others not pressing him, which had they done, he may well have taken another touch or played off, and that shot opportunity wouldn't have gone. But he took his time and took his spot, and great finish. Do you want me to carry on talking, Dor, before? But yeah, took his spot. I think over and above the goal, I think it was Newcastle. He played extraordinarily well. He's had 3 really exceptional games, hasn't he? I think he's played as a team player, probably the best against Man U. Of the 3 games that I've seen, he was just really over the spot. I'm not quite sure. I haven't seen the touch map, of of the game against Man U, we saw obviously the Newcastle how much he got around the pitch, and he was
You know
involved in
about
absolutely everything.
about Morgan's White? The touch match, I've seen
Morgan's
it.
White, the touch match
all over
for Man U. I've seen the
over.
Newcastle one. I haven't seen the Man U one yet.
Yeah, the Man U one, he was just all over. More like the hit mark more in the centre, but it was more like the left side of just happened because I said Dominguez was more pushing more in the middle. Then Morgan's White was pushing more in the centre, but more on the left as well.
On the right. Yeah, but no, just what a player we've got there. Him and Alanga are working together beautifully together again. He's starting to interact with Wood and working as a real 10, picking the ball up, turning on a pivot. I think that the NFL comment about how he managed to spin around that as well was phenomenal. And how he, like I said earlier on, how he got himself stuck in early, after they hit the post just before our first goal, how he got himself and the team and the fans fired up, got himself stuck in. And like I said, I wrote it down actually. He says, what does he say? In this league, you have to be aggressive. And I think that was absolutely controlled aggression. I don't think it was the yellow card, but I can see why he got it. But yeah, I'm all over Morgan Gibbs White at the moment. I don't think he can put a foot wrong. I think he's going to have a very well-deserved. Be surprised if he plays. He may well be on the bench against Blackpool. But I can't see him having, much to do in the next 2 weeks, getting really ready for the last 18 games of the season and hopefully a bit of a cup run. More and more goals I can see. If this is going to be the start of something that, he just takes that minute, takes that second to have a breath before he plays that ball and scores. I think he'll score a lot more for the rest of the season. And it's a shame we've only just seen the one so far this season, but definitely, he's in the right place and starting to score goals at the right time, which is absolutely spot on. Just what we need.
100%.
I personally would keep him well away from that Blackpool game. Just wrap him up in cotton wool.
Yeah.
Just get him away from any like he was limping around that pitch the last 10 minutes. Just get him away.
Last 10 minutes, he was limping. He
still made a run at the pitch.
I don't know if you lot knew, because Chris, when he was injured, Chris Wood played right wing. I think.
And Gibbs White just stayed up top, didn't he? Just to be there as a number, No, Blackpool game, keep him well away. Just wrap him up in cotton wool till the 20th. Don't worry about Blackpool game.
100%. People, please, there's 106 people in. Please do hit the like button if you can, please. And like I said, subscribe to myself, subscribe to Rad, and make sure everyone follows everyone on social medias as well. Well, let's the Nuno ball. Let's talk about Nuno again, man, because like I said, he's come in, and everyone was like, because everyone thought, oh yes, what Steve Cooper's done for the club, blah blah blah, and I've always said that Nuno he's got to outdo Steve Cooper now for what Steve Cooper achieved. I know it's pretty good performance for Nottingham Forest now, but I don't want to burst the bubble and get that negative vibes. I don't want to do that. But there's still loads of pressure just to keep him from the bottom three, because we're still a mid-table team. But do you think Nuno going forward, like I said, he's got 3 weeks to look at what players that he wants for the January? But it's been a good start for Man Utd.
I mean, I don't think he could have had a better start, to be honest. Like, it really should have been 3 wins and 3. If we said that Bournemouth game, we didn't even play badly in it. It was just immense, terrible refereeing, basically, really unlucky. So, we've got to move on from that. But, it was still a positive performance. And then we've seen two incredible, they've been the best games since they've been back in the Premier League, probably, in terms of how convincingly we played against Newcastle and United. So, that says an awful lot. And I don't think that's just because it's a manager bounce, as it's called. I'll forever thank what Steve Cooper did for Forest. Like, he's forever a hero. But I think just from what we've seen so far with Nuno, just because he's got that experience to him, which Cooper just didn't have through no fault of his own, I just think it kind of shows really the fact that the way Nuno handles games. I just think it's just that bit more refined, and that's the thing against Cooper at all. It's just I think Cooper's got potential to be a great manager at this level in the future, but it clearly wasn't working anymore. And we've brought in a guy that has been there and done it before, and has never really had to battle relegation in this league before, because with Wolves he was always well clear of it. Fighting Europe twice and getting it. So, that's an unbelievable CV. You look at everywhere else he's done well. So besides Spurs, but it's you can't really judge him on that. But yeah, the way we're playing now in the Nuno, it's light and day to what we were doing just a couple of weeks ago. It's so positive. It's so entertaining, genuinely entertaining to watch. And I think we still need to sign a forward, for example, just for numbers. Quite honestly, it's clearly a thin area of the squad for us. But playing to Chris Wood's strengths, we see him immediately go and score a hat trick, and he's thriving with confidence. And I think he was really lacking that, no doubt about it. And just as you mentioned about recruitment, I don't think it changes all too much. I think we all know about the keeper situation, and then, as I've already said, I think the attack is quite thin in terms of options. Other than that, do we need to sign many more? I just don't want us to go too crazy, because it's something we've done far too much. I think we need to just have that continuity now and stability more than anything. So yeah, I'm really curious. I think this sudden change of fortunes for us does make the chance to win extra interesting. I think it's more about letting a few players go, to be honest, rather than bringing like loads of players in. I think we don't need to go too mad in that regard. So
people, like I said, please do hit like, subscribe if you know. Before we we'll get people's man of match, but before we'll talk about something, because we've got another 10 minutes. So we are going to talk about the best and worst of your 223 as a Forest fan, of what you've witnessed. One good thing as well, I don't know if Forest fans know, Harry Toffolo has signed a new contract as well. Forest fans, what do you think of him signing a new contract to, I think it's to 225? What do you think, Steve, of Toffolo getting a new contract?
Well deserved. Yeah, been a true pro, and he since he's come back into the squad and the team. He's done a lot off the pitch as well with mental health, and he's done his own thing off the pitch with all that kind of stuff. And he's been a real almost like a cult figure in a sense. He's out in the cold for a bit. Didn't think he had a future at the club. He's going to be bombed out. He's going to be sold or whatever. And then he's just come back in, and every game he's played, he's been a solid 6 or definitely a 7 out of 10. Yeah, well deserved. If it's not one of them players now, you see him in the starting lineup, and you're like, oh, if he's in the team, you're like, great, good solid left back. He's probably got one of the highest assists in the club. And he's probably I think, didn't Steve Cooper say at his time there, he's the best crosser of the ball?
Best crosser, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, good on him. Well deserved. And as it is now, with some players going away to the Ofcom and so on, and we need that strength and depth for the wing backs. And we've been crying for years for left backs, and and it's good that we have an out-and-out left back now who can play left side. Because Aina can play either side, Nico can play either side, but Toffolo is an out-and-out left back. And that's what you need for that balance. He just brings a bit of balance. I still say Aina offers more going forward, but I think with Toffolo, he just offers a bit more of a balance to the back four, if you get what I mean. Because he is an out-and-out left back.
Right, people, I'm going to say everyone's man of the match and the team rating as well. Let me start with you, Rads. And people in the chat as well, get involved. Who was your man of the match for the Man U game and your team rating out of 10? Rads, who's your man of the match and the team rating?
Man of the match, I mean, there's so many options I could pick, honestly. Gibbs White would spring to mind straight away. Yatesy, Montiel, Nick Carter, I think played well. I think kind of goes under the radar. Alanga, all those lads played fantastically well, even the subs. So I'd probably have to pick Morgan just because of the way he's stepped up in recent weeks, and it's what scored the goal that won us the game. So I'll give it to Gibbs White. The team rating, I mean, as we've all been saying, for me, the last 2 games are the best we've played since we've been back in the top flight in terms of how convincingly we've played, essentially. We can still improve. So I don't really know why I'm not giving us like a perfect rating. I'll give us a 9 out of 10 because I don't think it was. You can't say anything's completely perfect, but I'll go 9 because it was a very impressive showing. So yeah.
Okay. Steve, who's your man of the match and your team rating?
I think the obvious choice would be Gibbs White or Langer, but I'm going to go for Niakate. I think he had his best game in a Forest shirt for a long while. I think to go back,
I have criticised him a lot, to be
yeah.
fair.
And you know, Ben, I've told you many times, I'm not a fan of a left-sided centre back on the right side, but I think against United he put 2 crunching tackles in, which broke up the play. I think he put one on Giannacho a few times. He done a good run up the wing. He just kept going. With the ball. His throw-ins are still, a weapon. I think he was a presence. I think he was helping Turner through the game with his confidence. And I think he grew. I think he's growing as a player, and I think we're starting to see the true Niakate now. And I think he's getting back now to the fully fit Niakate. But team rating, I'm going to go 8.5 out of 10, only because of Turner's nervousness and his kicking with the feet. I think that's what, like Brad said, nothing, unless we beat them 5-0, it wouldn't be, it wouldn't be 10 out of 10. So I'd have to go 8.5. It's just because of that, always that sense they could find a way back into the game just through Turner's nervousness from kicking out from the back. So I'd have to give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay. Last but not least, Glenn?
And I totally agree with you, Steve. Niakate did play his best game in a Forest shirt. But for me, if he saves Rashford's shot on the line with his chest like he did on Boxing Day at St James's, then he gets my man of the match. Morgan was heart and soul of the team going forward. What he offered in terms of the leadership in the middle and the goal at the end, I don't think you can look far beyond him. I totally hear what you're saying. I think Montiel had a great game. Had he played the whole game and was fit enough to play on and stay on the whole game, he was definitely in contention. Same with Dominguez. If he stays on the whole game and is fit enough to stay on, and I think that will eventually happen, he's in the running as well. But I think it's between Niakate and Morgan. I think Morgan's goal was the difference. I think I'm not suggesting that Niakate didn't head and kick everything, and he did. Had he put a little bit more involved on stopping that Rashford goal coming in or pressing Garnacho a little bit more, which he stood off a little bit to play that ball across to Rashford, then that might have been the difference. But Morgan is the player of the match for me, and I think they were absolutely right to give it from Sky as well. So yeah, but great game, and then eight for me as well. I think everybody played extremely well. I mean, including Turner in that. Actually, I think we've talked about him. And I think I've heard him talk, pundits and other podcasts talk about him very negatively. I don't think that's going to help his situation. He's being a bit nervy at the moment. I think it's something you can work through. But an 8 out of 10 for the team, including that slightly difficult situation. I think it's paralleled though when you've got a striker. Not that we had it and we haven't had it for a while. Who loops a ball over the crossbar from 6 yards and an open goal. It's exactly the same, isn't it? He's not doing his job. And for that one moment, okay, 2 or 3 earlier on in the game, but that one moment, Turner didn't do his job either. But definitely 8 out of 10. And Morgan closely followed by Niakate. Great game, everybody. Really good. Delighted to see a team working together. Fantastic.
Okay. Before I get mine, Steve, some guy is not happy with you, Steve. I'm not a fan of Steve's top Crusaders. Really love the stream from Durley, New Zealand. Is that Crusader top?
Yeah, it's a Crusaders New Zealand rugby top. Yeah.
Phil's not happy with you. All the way from New Zealand as well. Thank you, Phil, from all the way from New Zealand for watching this stream. Much love for that. Steve? Phil? What time is it in New Zealand? I ain't got a clue what time it is in New Zealand. I'll say my man of the match. You know what? I've seen someone different. Montiel. I thought he was really good, if I'm honest. I know he came off, was it last 15 minutes as well, but I liked him. I think since Nuno's come in, he was fantastic against Newcastle. And again, fantastic for me against Man U. So, yeah, Mug is white, fantastic. Langer, but for me, Montiel for me was my man of the match. So, and I'll say 8 as well. 8 out of 10. For me, because like I say, it was a first half. It wasn't great, but it is what it is. But second half, when we conceded the goal, I thought, oh, okay. But Nuno just went, be positive, and we got the second goal, and that's all that matters. I mean, we did, and we won 2-1. So yeah, I said,
you know what? sorry, Ben, I felt more nervous when it was 2-1 than when it was 1-1. Because I never felt that 1-1 United go on again. But at 2-1, because they did put a bit of pressure on, which you'd expect, they did start lumping the ball in. I think it was it before the when Turner tipped it over from Fernandes? Was it 2-1 at that point or 1-1? I think it was 2-1, wasn't it?
2-1.
It was 2-1.
It was 2-1.
Yeah, so, but to be fair to Turner, under the high ball, he didn't drop one ball as well, to be fair to him. And that could have got to him as well. So I felt more nervous in the last 5-10 minutes when Fergie time came. Ferguson must have had a word of that.
Fergie was there. Fergie was there. Fergie was there.
So Leicester said Dave Brailsford, yeah.
Yeah, 10 minutes. Like, where did he get that from?
6 minutes. 6 minutes. Rashford was down for 2, 3 goals, 6 minutes. Can't see anywhere near any more than 6 or 7. Where did 10 come from? Ridiculous.
Unbelievable. Right, listen, people, before we do go, for 2023, what has been your best? I'm not saying what's your worst, but what has been your best moment as a Nottingham Forest fan? So people get involved in the chat. There's 113 people in, so please, if you can, all 113 people, get involved in the chat. What has been your best moment for 2023? Let's start with you, Steve. What's been your best moment of 2023?
It's a toss-up now, only because that game now has been right on the cusp of 2024. So I'm going to go for 2 moments. Beating Arsenal to stay up. That was incredible. I think to beat a team who's going for the title and the occasion, the day, in the glorious sunshine, to win it like that, to hold on as well, 1-0 to stay up with still a game to spare, which we thought would go to Palace away, didn't we? But yeah, that or beating United. You know how long I wanted to beat United, Ben. I can't stand United. They're in my top 3 most hated teams. I've been waiting since 1999 to get paid back on them. I won't mention the scoreline. If there was a
don't mention it.
I'm not mentioning any young viewers watching.
Raz, was you born when that happened?
If you're talking about the game I think you are, then I don't think I was.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So yeah, we've raised all that now. I'm sure United have their time again, but we've had our moment now. Let's live this moment now. And for me, it's that or the Arsenal game, man. I think that Gibbs White goal, what a way to end the year, innit? Just beautiful goal, like Glenn said. I could watch that goal over and over again. And also my favourite goal is either that or Dalilo's against Brighton.
Yeah.
When Gibbs White, that's a beautiful goal as well. The way that Gibbs White just flicked it.
Southampton.
Yeah. Oh, and obviously I was there for the Chris Wood goal against Man City as well. I think that was a highlight as well. That's probably the best atmosphere I've been at the City Ground as well. But for me, it's Arsenal or the United game, Ben.
Before I get Glenn, some other, what was it? The Scott getting called a bellend by Des for hammering Steve Cooper or Liv Block tactics. I don't know. When did Des call you out, Scott? I think I've called everyone a bellend for whatever reason, but yeah. Glenn, what's been your best moment for 2023?
Best moment 2023. The win against Chelsea away. That was pretty special.
Yes.
Seeing the resilience in the team in the last few games, I think that's been really special. You're right, goal-wise, Danilo's goal against Southampton, the one that was knocked down by Morgan. Brighton was the one where he picked the ball up from halfway and shot across the keeper, broke bottom left.
Yeah, sorry, the Southampton one I meant.
He had a lot to do there. He had a lot to do in that goal as well. That was pretty special. So yeah, so many to mention really, but I don't think we can go much beyond, like you said, the Arsenal 1-0 win at home and the significance that goal had on the future of the club in the Premier League last season. But there were so many other memories, and so many more to come, boys.
So much more to come.
So many more to come.
So much more fun to 2024 under Nuno. So hopefully we can. Mine. Best moment, I think it's going to be Arsenal when we confirm staying up as well. So yeah, for me, Arsenal at home. That's it. Wow, the atmosphere was amazing as well. Newcastle away and Man U home. That does top it up all off as well. But yeah, that's my moment. Steve Cooper done that. I know people might be annoyed at me mentioning Steve Cooper. Steve Cooper done that for us. He kept us up. So I might get criticised for it. But yeah, that's my moment for 2023 for staying up against Arsenal. Right. It's been a pleasure. Thank you,
What about
everyone.
you, Rad?
Oh, right, Rad.
I'm waiting for Rads. You asked him
Rad.
first last time. You missed
Shocking,
him
though.
out.
That is shocking. I don't know.
We're not going to start calling you Bellends, are we now?
Sorry, Rad.
I'm going to echo a lot of what you guys have been saying, to be honest, because probably the best moment has to be beating Arsenal, staying in the Premier League. But yeah, that's definitely one of them. Beating Chelsea away, as we said. The Brighton game is one that I always look at with a lot of good memories, because I think it was our first win in a while or something. We hadn't been winning much, and it was like a pretty significant moment. I think that's when I thought, yeah, we can stay up here. I think we can do it. And then we did. We beat Southampton after that, and we mentioned that goal from Danilo. He scored in both games actually. That goal that Brennan scored against Leeds as well was a good finish as well. Hudson-Odoi's goal against Burnley.
Good goal. Good goal.
Hopefully we keep seeing that from Hudson-Odoi, because he's been a bit unfortunate, really. Hopefully he can kick on. And it's not even recency bias. It's just the fact that we had two of the best games in the Premier League return in the last week against Newcastle and Man United. They're right up there if we're being honest. So best moment, if we're being honest, it's got to be the Arsenal game. Just the euphoria of it, and just stopping them winning the league as well was pretty funny as well. So honestly, it's still pretty surreal, to be honest, that we're having these moments from where we've come from. And as you mentioned, Steve Cooper's the reason for that. But thank you very much, Steve, for everything. But we've got early impressions, a really good manager to follow him up in Nuno. So I'm really excited to see what can happen going forward with him.
Can I just
sorry,
Ben? Can I just say one? It was a loss, but I think it was a turning point for the year, which gave us confidence, especially to stay up. Was the Anfield game last season when we lost 3-2. I think we came back. I think it was international break, and we were just dreading it. We thought we were going to get stuff 6-7-0. I think they hadn't just beaten United 7-0, or it was around that time anyway. We thought, here we go. We went to Anfield. We put one hell of a shift in. We could have won that game, could have drawn. And I think that's just a game. I know we lost, but I think that game gave us confidence, and we all felt as fans, you know what? We can stay up with this team. And I think that was just a little highlight that even though we lost, I felt, yes, we are here to stay. And I think, we kicked on, like Rad said. We beat Brighton, we beat Southampton, we went to Chelsea, got a point. We beat Arsenal, and then we stayed up. So I think that was a game as well, which is a turning point to maybe where we are now. You never know.
You never know. Right, people, thank you everyone for watching this. I think I've never done a 7 o'clock stream before, but I do appreciate everyone that has took part as well. Thank you to Rads, Steve, and Glenn for 2023, and as well, I can reel them off. Des, Dave, Dylan, who else is there? There's quite a lot of people that have been on my stream, and Kevin Campbell as well for coming on my channel for the 2023. I've had the highs, I've had the lows.
And our Australian friend as well. He's enjoying more.
And David! How can I forget David?
He did his second day now of 2024.
How can I forget David? Bloody hell. I'm going to edit that bit out. Thank you, David. Thank you, David. You can actually kill me as well. But yeah, thank you everyone that took part of the channel. Like I said, there's going to be more stuff from my channel. More stuff from the guy, Raz, as well. Make sure everyone goes and watch Raz's vlog. Make sure everyone goes and watch my vlog as well. It's on the top link on my YouTube channel. But yeah, fantastic. We beat Man U. Next, we've got Blackpool at home. It's going to be fun. Nice, relaxed. Then we've got Brentford in the league. Is it 3 weeks? 3 weeks time at the 20th. Is it 20th?
20th.
Yeah. But
then we got Arsenal home.
Oh, we'll beat them. Not worry about that. We'll beat them easy. But people, Happy New Year. I hope everyone's had a great day. And like I said, people, I'll be back. I'm trying to do some more videos. My channel, like just some short videos of Forest related stuff. So watch out for that as well, people. But it's been a pleasure. Thank you to everyone that's took part. And before you do leave, please do hit the like button as well. And if you are rewatching this, in the comment section, if there's anything that you want to talk about, I will come back to you and reply to all of you as I can. But it's been a pleasure. Thank you, Forest. Thank you, Nuno, for beating Man U. It's been a pleasure. Peace and love. And guess what? Up the Forest.